Hi, I'm Steelfur Speaks, and this is my Florian OTK deck, the one you've all been waiting for. You'll notice straight away this title is called OTK The Weird Fork, and the reason I've called it that is it's a weird fork off the other OTK deck that I was building, but I think this one actually has some legs, so I want to share it with you. This is an untuned deck, it's new, the set hasn't even come out yet, but I think there is a lot of potential in this deck, so if you're looking for an OTK list to try, you may as well give this one a try. So obviously we'll start off with Florian, the hero. We have to look in because I've got all the shiny ones turned on, but obviously if you have 8 or more Earth cards in your Banner Stone, he gets, if you create 1 or more Aura tokens, instead create that many Aura tokens plus 1. So that tells us two things. The first is we're going to be making rune chants because this is an OTK deck. It wins by having more rune chants than your opponent can block in one turn, or enough that it will completely disrupt their game plan, right? Sometimes it's okay to get your opponent down to 1, 2, 3, 4, rather than just killing them outright if it looks like they're going to kill you, and sometimes you need to drop them down low enough that anytime you play an attack or try and do some arcane damage, they'll die. And if they, you know, for example, if they already have AB1, there can be ways to break through AB1 with more arcane damage and you can kill them from 3 life, for example. So that's just one thing to bear in mind. You're not always going to OTK people, but sometimes you are. You know, the main goal and strategy of the goal is to have enough rune chants that you only have to attack once in the entire game. But you may end up attacking more than once the entire game, and we'll talk about why in a minute. So equipment's fairly easy to understand. Barkskin of the Millennium Tree, there are so many non-attack actions in this deck, and you get decomposed, so this is fantastic. This can block so much damage every game. It's really good. Bloodied Oval, because you're using a one-handed weapon, so you may as well use this. It's 1 armor. You're not going to be attacking a lot. You're probably going to be on less life, so it makes sense just to have 1 block in the offhand slot. Your weapon is Scepter of Pain, which basically is 1 arcane to get 1 rune chant. They'll often block this, but as we'll get onto later, there's a combo with Channel the Millennium Tree, which you can keep around with this deck for almost always 2, but sometimes even 3 turns, depending on how aggressive your opponent is being. This will bump this up to 4 damage. If they don't block 4 damage, or say they only have AB1, you're going to be making 3 to 4 rune chants, depending on whether Florian is switched on. So that's a really powerful combo that's kind of face up on the board, and even if you only get 2 turns out of this and make 6 rune chants, that's still great for the OTK deck, right? So keep that in mind, that's a bit of a combo. Crown of Providence is in there just to fix, you know, sometimes this deck doesn't have what it needs in Arsenal, or Arsenal something it doesn't want. Get rid of that Arsenal, draw a card. It's just a great card. Didactic Carapace is a bit of armor for anti-wizard games, Arcane Barrier, but you're mostly going to be using Barkskin of the Millennium Tree. Grasp is armor for games where you need armor. You're almost never going to be able to pay this cost, but sometimes you are going to have to attack with rune chants and rebuild. If that happens and you have Florian switched on, this can get 2 rune chants for you at the cost of 2, so that's really good to use. So you might use it sometimes, but a lot of the times you're going to be running Vexing Quillhand, because that is just a way to get 3 rune chants for free, and it gives you a bit of arcane barrier. So in the mirror, for example, you're going to run Vexing Quillhand. You've got lots of null rune because wizards eat this deck alive, so just be aware of that. Like if you're going against a wizard, you're going to have full arcane barrier. There's a card called Petroglyphic Shield, which basically eats this OTK strategy alive. So, you know, I think it's called Petroglyph. Let's just have a look. It's definitely called Glyph, so let's just search for Glyph. Yeah, Petroglyphic Protection, blue. If your hero would be dealt arcane damage by 1 arcane damage, prevent the damage that source would deal. So that eats all of your rune chants, so just be careful of it. They will instance it from Arsenal with Storm Striders, so just, if you're playing against a wizard, it's going to be very difficult to win with an OTK strategy, so you're probably better off like sending 10 rune chants, you know, trying to sort of whittle them down. If you're playing against Verdance or the Mirror, chuck out Reaping Blade. It's fantastic. Well Grounded. This is an amazing card. It's 2 block on legs, which is guaranteed 2 block on legs that can also block Arcane. This is fantastic. You're going to run that, or you're going to run No Rune Boots. You're probably just going to run this as your default, because it prevents life. Let's run through the rest of the cards. So I've got a clean 60, though obviously I'm still trying a lot of things off to the side, but let's go in with a clean 60. Arcane Seed's Life. This is 2 rune chants early game plus an earth card in your discard pile. And late game it's 4 rune chants and a life. I mean, this is fantastic. Channel the Millennium Tree. This can amp your rune chants, but primarily you're going to try and use it with Scepter of Pain on your opponent's off turns to get good rune chant generation. Deadwood Dirge can destroy a rune chant to make 3 or 4 rune chants, so it's just value there. Also, it combos with Runeblood Incantation. Runeblood Incantation doesn't get destroyed when it has no counters on. It gets destroyed the next turn, so when you take your last counter off, it stays in play to the next turn. So if your Runeblood Incantation has run out of counters and you play Deadwood Dirge, you just net 3 or 4 rune chants and it's perfect. Otherwise, you're going to net 2 to 3 rune chants, which is still good. Felling of the Crown is in there to decompose early game, or it's there to help kill them. So if you attack with Felling of the Crown as your final attack, then it gets rid of one of the cards they have to block, and it reduces the amount of damage you actually have to deal to kill them. Remember, if you're attacking with rune chants and they have 4 blues, they can block 12 damage. So you need 52 rune chants to kill someone on 40 life. Obviously, this gets rid of one of those blues, so it brings you down to 49 rune chants to kill them, not even factoring the physical damage. So if you're trying to work out, can I kill my opponent? Look at how much armor they've got, and then assume every card in their hand can block 4 physical and 3 arcane, and then just do the math from that. So assume that they can block either all of this attack damage with 2 cards and still block 6 arcane, and that will be 14 damage blocked plus their armor, or assume they can block 12 arcane. So really you're looking for around 50 plus rune chants, maybe like 55 to properly kill them with rune chant damage, but maybe you can get away with like 48 or something like that if you have Felling of the Crown to get rid of a card from their hand. Also, you play 9th Blade of the Blood Oath. That comes in for 9. It's free if you have rune chants. That's your other way of killing them, just because 9 damage is quite a lot. And it's free as well, so you can block with the other 4 cards that you have this in your arsenal, and then just send it when you're ready. Fertile Ground gains you 5 life. You can get to 4 or more banished cards really quickly. And this is really good because you can combo it with Thistle Bloom. So you play that, and then you play this. You've just gained 6 life and 6 rune chants, or 7 if Florian is turned on. So that's a combo you can do. You know, against a slower game, you might put Thistle Bloom life, Fertile Ground in your arsenal, and then try and wait until you've got a Harvest Season in play, or another Thistle Bloom life, and try and get 8 rune chants, or, you know, one of your Fruit of the Forest, trying to get 7 or 8 rune chants and gain 7 life. Haunting Rendition is a 4-cost block card that can block 2 damage and give you 1 to 2 rune chants. It's really good. Reduced to rune chants gives you a rune chant on defense. Read the runes gives you 3 rune chants, can give you 4. You can play Deadwood Dirge and then read the runes on the same turn to get 6 to 8 rune chants, which can just be fantastic. So the reason this deck, so a lot of people are like, why is this deck called Weird Fork, right? And the answer is that the first OTK deck I built played a lot of decomposed cards. So it played Felling of the Crown, and it played Cadaverous Mulching, or whatever it's called, and all of those really good cards just to get you decomposing as quickly as possible. But I found that there was a problem there, which is I want to be generating rune chants for the OTK strategy from my first hand. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to attack to decompose and I can't do my rune chant generation because I have to spend those rune chants. Now, it's not the end of the world if you have to attack with 8 rune chants, for example, early game to decompose with a Felling of the Crown just to get there a bit faster. That's fine. You can rebuild up to the OTK. But I also thought, let's try a different strategy. Let's try a strategy where I fill my graveyard with Fruits of the Forest, with blocking, etc. Let's try a strategy where Rootbound Carapace is my primary decompose. And the first draft of this deck, Felling the Crown wasn't even in there. I put this in because I think it's a great finisher, and it's a really great early game disruption card to slow them down so that you have more time to build rune chants. But I thought, let's run 9 Rotbud Carapace. So that's the thing about this deck. If no one is attacking you, like against Kano, for example, you might be screwed. But against other, but that's one deck, right? Against other decks, everyone's going to attack you at some point. you will be able to play your root-bound carapaces. And, you know, maybe you could brick by having these in there, but if you are, you're going to be pitching to Scepter of Pain. You're not going to be spending your rune chants. You're not going to be forced to spend your rune chants. Like, if they decide not to attack you, and all you're doing every turn is just sending Scepter of Pain, waiting for them to attack you with root-bound carapace in your hand, that is kind of okay as well. So just, you know, you could brick, but I don't think it's going to happen. So that's where you're getting your decomposes from. You're blocking with other earth cards, you're using Fruits of the Forest, you're getting the earth cards in your graveyard, and then you're using Rootbound Carapace just to get across the finish line with the decompose. Once you've decomposed, Runeblade Incantation generates 6 rune chants. You can search it out with Sonata Galaxia. Sonata Galaxia is also there for the sort of more slow games where you want to use Runeblood Barrier to make 5 rune chants. So you can search for this for free with Sonata Galaxia and get that into play, make 5 rune chants. And then also, you know, a little combo, you can destroy the Runeblood Barrier with Deadwood Dirge, so that you get the 5 rune chants from that, and then you get another 3, so you get 9 rune chants, but you don't have the side effect risk that your opponent might remove your rune chants by doing more damage than you can block, for example. Ninth Blade is just there as a finisher. It also blocks 3, that's fine. Thistle, I've already explained. Earth's Embrace is just really powerful when you get it in there. It's less consistent in this deck because obviously you're not banishing a lot of cards on your turn, but even having 1 embodiment from a blue earth card is fine, and you do need good blue earth cards, so I put that in. I have been experimenting a bit with Sigil of the Sigil that gives you an embodiment of earth instead, just because I don't have to pay for it, but it has the same effect and it's a blue card, but I'm not really sure on that. Germinate's fantastic. You know, late game you're going to have it, you're going to have blues. Once Florian's turned on, you get 1 embodiment, you get 2 embodiments, and then you get as many rune chants as you can pay for. It's just an amazing card. Even if it's not turned on, just chucking it out for 2 and just getting 1 embodiment token can be life or death on certain turns. There are so many non-attack actions in this deck. You know, getting an embodiment of Earth is like free life. Seeds of Tomorrow is just fantastic. You can put anything in your arsenal in this deck, and you do not have to worry about it. Between Crown of Providence and an instant that cycles your arsenal, and I have been debating Tome of Harvest as well, you really don't have to worry about it. In the inventory, we just have, for slower games, more life gain, more aura fetching, and Runeblood Barrier, so you can get up the Runeblood Barriers, you can get more rune chants that way, you know, and get yourselves more opportunities. Sunwood Shelter is another earth card to keep that earth ratio up, and it also lets your earth cards block for another 4, so it's basically another earth de-react, because you have so many earth cards, it can just blow things out. And also it's quite fun, because you can play Rotwood Carapace, or Rootbound Carapace, and they can think, okay, well, he's only blocking for 4 with the defense reaction, but you can actually just drop 8 block for free from your hand, basically. So, you know, just like a defense reaction, but like a bit more surprise. And I have caught people out of that where they've come in for 4, I've played Rootbound Carapace, they've been like, aha, I'm going to play that, and you know, you follow up with the Summerwood Shelter as an instant. So that's just in there, and also it's an earth card, which also ratios are very important, right? Because you need to be getting earth cards into your graveyard as quickly as possible, so the Rootbound Carapaces can banish them. Remember, this can banish 2 earth cards and another earth card if it's an action. So when you're banishing cards for Decompose, you start by selecting anything that isn't an action card for the Decompose effect. So pick, for the 2 earth cards, wherever possible, pick instants, pick defense reactions, and then keep the actions free, because you might find yourself banishing 3 earth cards with each of these cards, and if you do that, it will only take you 3 of these to get online rather than 4 if you do it the other way. So just be conscious of that. Anyway, this deck will change. This is a first look. You can see the list of maybe cards down here, stuff like Sigil of Earth, Tome of Harvests, you know, Sigil of Deadwood for just even more Rune Chant Generation, you know, Dread Triptych, all this stuff I'm considering. But this is where I've landed. Why don't you give it a try? It's a very defensive deck. It's very easy to understand. But give me a try and let me know your thoughts. Are you enjoying Florian? I think this new set is fantastic, and I'm really enjoying everything that it has to offer. Speak to you all soon. Bye.